Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
I believe AJ Fredrickson that we're about to talk about the steaming hot Minnesota Wild, a team that is now with 22 points. So points wise, they're technically out of the playoffs. They're in the first non-playoff spot, but they have as many points as the Jets, who have 22. They're in the third spot in the Central. The Blackhawks and then the team that they beat last night, the Wild, and Golden Knights are first and second in the wild card spot. And then the Wild with 22 points, followed by the Oilers with 22 points. Utah falling behind at 21 points. It is a mess. It is. But so we did a show, which you can find after the Ducks game on Saturday, in which Jesper Wallstedt got a shutout. And it was a really good game on the Wild's part. They come back last night with a 3-2 win in overtime. By the way, praise the Lord. Zeev Buium actually got in. Now, he didn't play much, and it wasn't long, but Zeev Buium took a shift in overtime. Thank you, John Hines. They win the goal on a power play, which was sort of a little bit of a questionable call. Kirill Kaprizov scores a goal in which the Vegas goaltender didn't square up correctly. So Bad goal, but still the Wild wins. But you know what strikes me as I watch this team now? Age, for the most part. Now they still have.
What's that?
They still have Kaprizov. They've got some skill. Don't get me wrong. They got some skilled top line guys. But you know what strikes me as I watch Saturday's game, and since November 1st, when they all said the calendar's turned, they are 6-1-1. What strikes me is they are playing sound, often boring, but that's okay. And boring by 2025, not 2005 when it was almost unwatchable. Boring by 2025 standards. They are playing like a team that doesn't have a ton of talent, which is how they should play. Which is exactly how they should play. So I'm praising them, and they don't. They do not have a ton of talent. But I don't know who got the memo or what. But and they talked about this postgame too, because they were playing so loose in the first month, and it's like, this is ridiculous. They are playing like a team that realized, you know what? We're really not that good, like that talented. This is what's going to win games. And I'm just glad they figured it out. I have no idea if it's going to last. I have no idea if it makes them a playoff team or not. But they're getting points because they basically have accepted the fact that the majority of them are, for the most part, grinders.
I think it was a couple weeks back now. We did a show following. God, I think it was a win. Believe it or not, I think it was a win in October. But we jokingly were talking about this team and their identity. Do they have? When you look at teams across the league, and you look at Carolina, you know what their identity is. You look at Colorado, you know what this team, not as much. And so I jokingly made the headline for that show something about, the Wild have they found their identity? That was more tongue in cheek. I think I could say it now and do that headline again, and it'd be pretty serious, because I think we see now what this team's identity is, which is you're going to have to smother a game. It's going to be pretty boring. You're still, and like you said, it's Jacques Lemaire's teams. These are the Harlem Globetrotters.
Exactly.
These guys are flashy and all-star teams. But if you look at the rest of the league now, they're pretty boring, which is okay, because they realize in order to win games, which I think is a perfect example of last night, I thought Vegas outplayed them. I think at times they outworked them. And I think at times the Wild took pretty dumb penalties. Joel Eriksson on the power play, a tripping penalty in the offensive zone while on the power play, which eventually leads to Dorofeyev evening things up.
Mm-hmm.
They did enough to throw the game away, but they stuck to what I think is their identity by playing boring, kind of lukewarm, at times flashy, because you're right. Boldy, Kaprizov, Zuccarello, they all can show some skill. But it's not going to be this highlight reel extravaganza, roll out the tape, the red carpet. There's no sparklers. It's more, okay, the lights are on, people are home, and this team is now winning hockey games solely because they're playing a specific style and they're sticking to it. They're not straying too far off the path. you have the fourth and third line dumping and chasing with hard physical. Look at Yakov Trenin's goal last night.
I love that goal.
Marcus Foligno lays a huge hit in the corner.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Then I want to say it was Yurov that pokes it to the middle. Maybe it was him or Ben Jones. I think it was mixed up because of line changes. And then Trenin, granted, it's not a great goal by any means, and I think he got pretty damn lucky. But he just comes to the near side post. He throws it on net, and it trickles in. Hardworking, ugly but hardworking goal, and that's what this team needs to do.
I am so glad that you talked about that goal, because that goal to me was one of my favorite goals of the entire season, and here's why. And it goes back to my point of they've realized they're not that talented. I feel like on Saturday, like the fourth line had played really well for 3 or 4 games, right?
Yeah.
For a fourth line. I mean, they're doing exactly what you want. It's like like textbook. They have the puck. In fact, I think you were lamenting to me in the press box on Saturday, and you're 1,000% right that, it's too bad the fourth line is getting all these opportunities because they can't finish them. But like they were creating opportunities. But you know what I loved about the Trenin goal? Somebody finally didn't try to make a play that looked like a hockey. Like he basically just banked the puck towards the net. The goaltender misplayed it, and it went in. Mm-hmm. Saturday against the Ducks, the fourth line was trying to actually, like Foligno and Trent at times were trying to make plays, like off each other. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, do not try to make a play off each other. A simple pass is one thing, but like if you come into the zone, north south, get the biscuit to the net and see what happens. Do not pass it around. Nobody's good enough to do that other than the first line and second line some of the time. Maybe Boldy is for sure.
Yeah.
Eriksson Ek did score a goal last night, but my God, the goaltender was like in Anoka County by that point. But yes, this is that goal, the Trenin goal. I love that goal. Like, where has that been from you, dude? Never try to make a play. Like a play. Just put it towards the net, see what happens. So I was thrilled by that because it was like that's what a fourth line does. And if it goes in, great. Worst case, goaltender smothers it. Face off. Okay, that's fine too.
But the thing about it too is
so important to me.
On that attempt too, it's within 2 to 3 stick lengths of the goal. Mm-hmm. He decided, I'm just going to do it myself and get it on net. And guess what? If normally what I think the outcome of that goal is, it's probably a pad save, but then there's 2 of your teammates who forechecked hard are right on the top of the crease there to try to shovel it away. So he got lucky, but he did the right thing. So I think he gets rewarded for it. But even if he keeps doing the right things, he's probably going to wind up with an assist off that because Marcus Foligno, or in this case, it was Yurov, is going to be there to probably bat in a rebound. Just keep doing that. The third and fourth line needs to realize no more hockey inside of like 3 stick lengths of the goal. There, it's selfish. I'm going to do it myself.
Yes.
And put it to the net.
Yes. And like that is the next guy that I want to do that and quit trying to make actual plays. And this might sound goofy. Hinostroza. Yep. Dude has speed to burn. Like that dude's got speed. But the problem is he gets the puck. He's got speed, but he gets towards the net and he tries to make a play, and it's like, no, do not do that ever again. But like you said, dump it towards the net, put it on goal. The other thing on the fourth line, so Foligno has finally started, and he's still at no goals, but started to play like himself. Trenin is Trenin. He did have, I think he did botch the Dorofeyev goal. I think he botched the puck on that one. So he can be a liability in his own zone at times, not all the time. But the other one that I love is because I don't think he's a fourth liner, but he plays like he can do it. Yurov goes to the goal like a madman. No more timeouts, by the way. No more resets for him, okay? John Hines, I don't need him to reset anymore. He's not going to win all his faceoffs. He's good enough on this team. But I mean, that dude, if you watch him, watch 22. Watch how many times, if the play is in the offensive zone and the puck is anywhere near the net, that dude is right on top of the net. So, like, he's doing fourth line things. And ultimately, I hope he's like a top 6 guy for sure. But that's another thing that's impressive. And for all we say, well, the KHL is different than and I'm sure it is. Okay, I get that. But the thing that I appreciate about those guys is clearly they're coached hard there, and a lot of them work their butts off. which I think is part of the reason why Kaprizov, from a starting point, like worked, like he works, and Yurov works. So for all these, well, he doesn't have the requisite experience because the KHL. Okay, let's not say that as much. Let's say, what did you learn there? And I think they learned, not all of them, but I think some of those guys definitely learned skills of how to grind it out and work hard. And Yurov does that fairly, I think, consistently. So yes, this is all coming together. This is a good way of saying this is all coming together very nicely compared to what we were talking about a month ago. Don't know if it's a playoff team. I will continue to say that, but I do know that you nailed it. This is at least an identity.
Absolutely. And on the Yurov point, I don't know if they can afford to give him another reset, even if they wanted to, given Marco Rossi on IR, Nico Sturm. Do we have a timetable for him?
December.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it's back. It was a back thing, so they're not going to rush it.
It takes time. Absolutely.
A back injury of some sort.
But then I know he came back from the tunnel, but Ryan Hartman went down the tunnel during the game last night, so they might be running on potentially.
Yeah, he left eventually.
Two centers going forward. So we might see an ascension here of Danil Yurov. Will that be like just the third line? Will Ben Jones stay on the fourth, or will Ben Jones outwork him in John Hines' mind and go above him? And then who knows who else comes in? I'm not sure. Are we going to see potentially I always get these guys messed up because it's similar names in my mind. Are we going to get a Hunter Haight like call up, and is he going to come in and slot in somewhere?
If Hartman's out, they're going to have to call somebody out.
They're going to have to, but I'm curious on how this is going to pack Yurov, because I would never want it to come through like all of these injuries, but the fact that he is getting at least a silver platter opportunity to be slotted into the top six, so we can at least see, like, this is what Liam Ogren almost would need too. He's not going to get it. They did give him a little more opportunity though yesterday compared to on Sunday's game or Saturday's game. He got out there for the power play unit too. Like he was getting time. But Danil Yurov, I'm excited to see if Ryan Hartman is out. I mean, it's going to be a big blow for this team because that's another center that you're losing. Yeah. But that gives him like a spotlight role, and I'm excited to see if that is the case, what exactly he can or can't do.
Yeah, and what? So he would be probably top six, second line. You think
he has to be, right?
Eck goes up to replace. I mean, my guess is, but here's the problem there. Joel Eriksson Ek, who we talked about, offensively, it's been a struggle. There's no question about it. But, he's done this for a long time now, continues to do a fantastic job against other teams' top lines. So do you want to put him on your top line and either assign your top line to their top line, or keep him on the second line with Boldy and make Yurov the first line center? I don't know. But, yeah, this does create an interesting opportunity. And it's a bit of a conundrum. I believe Hartman left the game for good last night, so something was clearly wrong. I think they said lower body. Not sure what, of course, because we have no idea. But anyway, yeah, this is going to present an interesting opportunity for him. I got a question for you about the overtime here. But first, I want to talk about this. Guys, it's Men's Health Month, and our friends at Minji Digestive Health, they want to remind you to put your health first, specifically your gut health. Minji specialists are real pros. What they do is they diagnose and treat all kinds of digestive concerns, from heartburn to hemorrhoids and everything in between. I get it, guys. No one likes to talk about digestive concerns. But the good news is Minji physicians are experts who are comfortable talking about what we consider to be the uncomfortable. They see it all and treat it all. And if you're 45 or older, it's time to get a Minji colonoscopy, the only test that both detects and prevents colon cancer. Get screened now to avoid getting blindsided later. Minji makes things easier with convenient locations throughout the metro and scheduling that fits your lifestyle. Go to Minji.com to schedule a visit. That's Minji, MNGI.com to schedule a visit. Did you, and this is somewhat eye test, and I know that the game ended on a 4-on-3 OT goal. Did you feel like the overtime did feature a more aggressive approach to actually get the puck on net last night by the Wild? The Golden Knights, by the way, did the same exact thing that the Wild does. They controlled the puck for the first half of the OT and just circled back and circled back. I am so tired of that. But anyway, your thoughts.
I I felt like that too, and I think that's maybe because of the fact that they lost that opening draw and Vegas was going about it the way that the Wild typically do. When you're going to have a team that sort of holds onto the puck and they're looking for, it's got to be the grade A plus opportunity to put a puck on net, you're not going to touch the puck very often. So what's the best chance for you to score? Probably on a quick counter rush. You take it and you try to catch them on their heels, and you get one step in this league, and that might be the difference. Granted, we saw Mitch Marner almost do that too off a bouncing puck that fell off of Zuccarello's stick, and Marcus Johansson had to try to get back. Matt Boldy had a pretty good back check.
No, it was Marcus. It was Johansson lost the puck.
Oh, was it? I guess
it was. Yeah. No, he was trying to make a pass and he sort of whiffed it a little bit. And Mitch Marner's pretty good at hockey last time I checked, so that could have been a disaster.
But yeah, the Wild, it felt like when they had the puck, they were more assertive. They were more assertive in the offensive zone. Like they got into the offensive zone, and you saw like there was a couple of the normal once they needed to slow things down. Let's back out to the neutral ice, but they were getting low in the zone a lot more often. Which I think then it's like, well, we're here. We might as well put the puck towards the net. And then my main takeaway from the power play in overtime though is where Kaprizov was. And granted, like you said, it wasn't a great goal. Lindbaum probably should have stopped that one. Like it was a weird adjustment and he just left the 5-hole open. But Kaprizov from that angle can put the puck on net with a pretty good zip on it. So why are we not doing that when you're on your normal 5-on-4 power play? There's a lot more ice, and I get it. You're going to be able to get the puck and just kind of throw it around and take as much time as you need. But him in that area shows you exactly why you're not utilizing him correctly on your normal power play.
And the power play did scuffle a bit overall, correct? I did not see, I was at the Vikings game, so
yeah.
And doing vent line, the power play in the first period, I didn't see it. It sounds like it got to be a little bit of a grind there, which is funny because the power play has been, like the power play was the one thing that was really, really good, and now it's regressing a little bit, but I guess if you're going to win games playing the style that the Wild is, you'll take that. But it did not sound like the power play was clicking last night until that last goal.
No, I know that Zibuiam got demoted off of it just to try to change things up. The zone entry, once again, which we talked about the other night, continues to be an issue. There's too many like neutral zone passes right before entering the blue line where they like the drop pass to get a guy to like gain speed. If you're going to do that, that's fine because that's step one of what I want you to do. The other one is just have that guy hold on to the puck. Just skate in, make a quick cut, dump in deep, or frankly, at this point, dump and chase, because this is now your identity, which is you need to be a physical, hardworking team. Just loft it over the blue line and then follow it in, and then with a head of steam, try to regain the puck. And now you're already down low, and then kick it out top where they presumably drifted away from. The power play is good of a start as they had. Right now has been, I think, pretty middle of the road.
Mediocre,
like it looks fine when they do set it up and they clearly have a plan. It is effective at times against certain teams, but it's just I keep thinking that for the 2 minutes that they're out there, a minute of that is setting up the zone, entering the zone, rather than actually working and moving the puck around the offensive zone and trying to direct it towards the net. It's more set up before it's action, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and the thing with Zeev is I would not continue to do this because he is your future there. So this, like, he's on the power play first unit. Now he's off the power play. Now he's on there. Like, he just needs to, they need to work with him, and he needs to work on establishing zone entries are not a problem. His decision making once he gets in the zone, I feel like sometimes he tries to take on like three guys. And he beats guy one, he beats guy two, he loses the guy three, he loses the puck gets exited. So I actually feel like in some ways the zone entry philosophy is flawed. And I know it's tough. Like, it's not a simple thing. Yeah. It looks simple. It's not. But I think sometimes their approach is flawed as well. And that's also on coaching. And I know Spurgeon is more stability, but Zeev has so much more flash. And if and when the sooner he gets that right, like, he's really good at this. It's just going to take him some time. And I think the growing pains, I don't think I would continue to do this. Because, again, you're not that talented. So it's not like you didn't take Bobby Orr off the first power play because he's aging and put Zeev on it. And it's like, Bobby Orr's like, what the hell did I do wrong? Jared Spurgeon is not he's not a slam dunk to be the power play guy. Heck, in some ways, I would prefer Brock if you're going to do that to Spurgeon. I would probably go Zeev, Brock, Spurgeon. But anyway, that's so back to the good though. Do you know that the Wild has not surrendered a 5-on-5 goal in 268 minutes and 40 seconds?
I saw that
This is
scrolling last
impressive.
night before bed, and I was like, that can't be right. So I went back and looked, and yeah, believe it or not, that is correct. And once again, I think that just circles back around to the theme of that's their identity. They smother the game, like they get in a super hold in 5-on-5, and they're like, you're gonna snooze to death here, and we're gonna get 2 points. But boy, is this gonna be a long one.
Yeah, no, and they do, and it's not unwatchable, but yeah, it's a definite it's a definite philosophy, and the goaltending though, I will say this: the goaltending has been really good of late. Like this weekend, to go back to our post game podcast that we did after the Ducks game. I mean, Volstead was fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic, and Gus was solid.
Yeah.
I still feel more. It's weird though. I've definitely decided. I'm not sure about you. I've definitely, after watching him back-to-back games, I've definitely decided I feel more comfortable with Volstead. I feel like more assured there. Gus, it's a little bit more of a oh boy, okay, yeah, and he's good, so he's fine. But Volstead to me again on Saturday just really impressed me because, and he did against the Flames too, because there's just something about his approach, and it feels like he's so technically sound right now that it's like, okay, yeah, that's a really good save, but he made it look fairly simple. At times with Gus, I feel like it's like, oh, I don't know about that, but that's more of a compliment to Jesper than it is a criticism of Gus.
I think after last night's game, I've backed off that point a little bit just because Vegas, I know what they're capable of offensively. They have Marner, they have Eichel, they have Dorofeyev. They didn't generate as much offense as I think the Ducks did against Jesper Wallstedt. So that's where I do side with you on that. But at the same time, I think you do have to give a little bit of credit to not the facing the team and like shutting them down. That has been like a perennial powerhouse here for the past handful of years, whereas the Ducks have risen to this occasion. Is this just a drop in the bucket? Yeah. Obviously, they're good, so I'm not going to just throw it out the window. And I said on Saturday night's show after the game, which is I think the Ducks are a good team. Like you can't just like dismiss that win and say, oh, well, they beat the Ducks. But they beat the Vegas Golden Knights last night. And in goal was Philip Gustafsson. And I think he maybe I need to see more of that, but he I wouldn't say I'm like unsure when he's in goal anymore. There is maybe a little more of a confidence just with the movements I'm seeing from Jesper, but it's I don't know. With Gus, I would say it's I need to see more of flukes before I really just like am out on that.
Oh, I'm not out on Gus at all. Yeah, no. I'm just saying I trust Jesper more. In fact, hot take, I think I would trust Jesper more in a 7-game playoff series than Gus. Jesper playing like he has of late. I think he could win. I think he could win you a few games. Been a long time since I said that about a Wild goaltender, and we've always complained about that. Like the goaltender doesn't have, part of their first round exits. What is it worth now? 10 years or something like that. Are certainly not all on goaltending. That's not fair. That's not correct. But we have also always lamented the fact that there are goaltenders that can win you a couple of games in every series, and it's like, okay, goaltender won you that game. I am leaning towards, this is a very hot take because he still has not played a ton yet, but when I watch Volstead play, I'm like, I think he could win you a playoff series. I think he could help you win a playoff series. I reserve the right to remove that hot take from the file here, but there's just something about the way he approaches games that strike me as being ultra calm. Now he's going to go through a rough stretch, and I'm going to complain about it. But the calmness that he brings, I really, really like. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. And I'm not out on Gus at all. Yeah. I'm just saying, in watching the two of them, we pointed out that the Wild lost Hartman. Rossi is out there. Certainly, guys out for the Wild. In fairness, the Golden Knights were without Mark Stone, William Karlsson, and probably most importantly, Aiden Hill.
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't love the goaltending from them.
No.
I didn't love that goaltending. That was not great goaltending.
Yeah, they were hurt, but also, then it's just a matter of how much you think that sways one side or another. I think Mark Stone and Willem Karlsson as a package are probably bigger losses than, Marco Rossi and
Ryan Hartman.
Take your pick of Ryan Hartman or Nico Sturm, who aren't out there.
Oh yeah.
But I think with Aiden Hill out, that heavily swings things goaltending wise in favor of the Minnesota Wild, where that's where they kind of shined last night. It was a defensive lapse on Trenyon's part on the Dorofeyev power play goal, which kicked out to him, and he kind of was just like, he was there, but he didn't pick up his man. That's a goal. And then God, I'm blanking on the second one who was that? Riley Smith's and another power play goal. So another lapse on 5-on-5, which they then go down a man and they give up a goal. So it came out and showed like that's in the long run the swing for the Wild, it ended up mattering a little bit more, but it even down a couple guys like that, to me it circles back to the identity. Down they adapted, they adjusted, given their tools, and like being able to shuffle and roll a couple guys that maybe didn't expect to have as big of a role last night. Like did you see the time on ice for the Wild after that? Because you have Daniil Yurov. I expected him to have more, but he only had 13:09 time on ice. Ryan Hartman 12:30, and granted he left the game, but that just shows like how much they were relying on him early.
Yep.
Eric Sinek 24:32, so they really went heavy on him later, and we're kind of double shifting because he ended up having more than Kaprizov, who had 23:47, more than Jared Spurgeon, who had 22:06. So it was a very big night last night for Eric Sinek after Ryan Hartman left.
Wow, yeah, that's a ton of ice time. But you know what? He has played for his job. Like, I would like to see him get back to the offense that I know he can provide, and I know he scored a goal last night. But yeah, his it's funny because there is a large part of this that with the identity that we're talking about that the Wild is playing with now, Eric Sinek, if there's like 3 or 4 to 5 guys that set a tone, he's one of them.
Yeah.
Like he is, this is his style, which is really not sexy. He could score more than he's scoring, but at the end of the day, he's going to shut you down. It's why on a really good team, he's a third line guy probably.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good third line because he shut your ass down. Like can you imagine him on a legitimate playoff team? Oh my God, he would be a nightmare. He would be a nightmare if he was on a team with a top 6 that was good, like, and centers that were really good, and then he could go to a third line, which would probably be a lot like the Grief line was at one time.
And that's kind of his glory days, though.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I mean, can you imagine if you took, and I know Jordan Greenway drove us nuts, but can you imagine if you took Foligno, Greenway, and Eriksson centering them and put them on a real, legitimate, good playoff team? They would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
and just ask them to do what they do. Don't worry about scoring, I guess, in that case. Just shut guys down. Now, the only thing with Eriksson that's a little bit tricky is the faceoffs now.
Well, the thing about that, too, is the Minnesota Wild PR account must be listening to the show, because they put out a nice little statistic that I didn't have ready because I didn't know this was going to jump up here. But I think after last
night, gotta be ready for anything, AJ. Got to be ready for
he leads the NHL in faceoffs won and taken.
He does?
Apparently.
I've seen that stat. Yeah, I've seen that stat. But what's his percentage in the circle? And it might have improved of late. It felt like he was languishing for a while.
Let me see here. So
because faceoffs won is also just based on your take, as you just said, he's also taking a ton of them.
I know he's up over 200 wins. God, I'm not gonna be able to find this now.
That's okay. We'll come back to it. But the point is, for the most part, I'm complimenting him by saying he is really good at that role. So anyway,
here, all right. After winning 14 of 27 faceoffs on,
good, yeah.
This is Saturday nights.
Saturday night, yeah, he was 14-13. Yep.
Eriksson Ek leads the NHL with 212 faceoffs won and 411 faceoffs taken. So he's over 50% on the year.
Okay.
Not by a huge margin, but like for this team, he is the face-off superstar. And due to people being out, and that number would be a lot less, I feel like, if Nico Sturm was healthy, because he was signed as kind of the
face-off maven.
Yes, exactly. The old Mikko Koivu, go out there, take the draw, and then get your butt off the ice type of thing. So, I mean, that's better than I thought. That kind of snuck up on me because I know he's had some off nights, but he's also had some nights where he was just like a dynamo and eating lunch, and it seems like he's winning 60 to 70% of the draws.
All right, we of course we'll be back with Jesse Pierce on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll be doing at least 3 shows during the course of the week. The Wild doesn't play again until Wednesday night at 8:30. Thank you very much, TNT. TNT, great coverage, but I hate your start times, and
that's
quit
probably
treating
like,
us.
Probably like 8:50, 8:55.
I got to make a decision about that game. I think I'm going to go because I missed Sunday's game, but my gosh, I'm sorry. This 56-year-old does not enjoy face-offs at nearly 9:00. But anyway, I digress. That's my problem, not yours, and it's not really a problem at the end of the day. I'm Judd. He's AJ. Judd's Hockey Show. Thanks for watching or listening.